You ever have one of those thoughts come through your head and you're like, fuck yeah, I want to do that? Well, that's exactly what happened to the guy we're about to hear from. But before I get into all that, got a couple things for you, of course, like I normally do. Quick little story. I ran into a guy for the first time today, and we got talking about the good old days of riding four-wheelers and dirt bikes and crashing and doing all sorts of crazy shit. You know, if you're not crashing, you're not riding hard enough, you know, that kind of thing. And he says, yeah, I got some aches and pains. And I was laughing because I said, man, I see the Advil on the shelf behind you. He goes, yep, every day. I said, man, you ever try some CBD? And he said, no. And I said, hey, listen, man, I got something for you. And I told him about Live Rishi. These guys make high quality CBD product, and I use them all the time. And tinctures to help me sleep and relax. But the Rishi rub, if you want some relief and some joint pain, oh, God sent. Check them out. LiveRishi.com. Use the code word TABLE50, and you're looking at 50% off your entire order. They got all sorts of cool stuff on there, just not tinctures and the Rishi rub, and they got a brand new website. It looks amazing. And talking about websites, I would love for you to check out mine. Everything you need to know about the show is there, and that's waltzkitchentable.com. And reach out, say hello, and you want a little sunshine in your inbox once a month, sign up for my newsletter. It's right on the front page underneath my smiling mug. All right, let's get to this. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Eric reached out to me, and he's got a great website, and the link's in the show notes. And one thing that captured me, he's going to run. He's a big runner, right? He loves running. He uses it like I use the gym for meditation, helping with mental health and all that good stuff. And you got to check this fucking guy's beard out, man. It's amazing. Eric the Beard, I call him. But he's got a lot of things going on. He's got a podcast. He's a writer, all sorts of crazy shit. And I just had an awesome time hanging out with him and speaking with him. Check out his podcast. I really enjoy that as well. But you know what he decided to do? Is run a marathon in every state. And it gets kind of crazy, but I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Let's get to it. All right, dude, it says live, but we're not live. I'm recording this for... And that is part of why I did StreamYard, was some of the artwork, you know, that I could do, and I got tired of just looking at a black background with you guys. And but I do live every other week. I do a little 10-minute live broadcast on my Facebook page and
nice.
And YouTube, and this you can go live with it, so it just makes it nice.
For sure.
All right, Eric, man, thanks for jumping in. Joining me now. My disclaimer is everything you say now is going to be on the internet.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I got to give you, dude, your fucking beard, man. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, like it was a thing even before the pandemic. It wasn't even like a thing I did during the pandemic when I was away from people. It was like I had this thing even before then, and then it just got even more fierce during the pandemic.
What'd you do? Let it grow out during the pandemic?
Yeah, because normally I would just kind of shape it and trim it and stuff like that, and I don't trust myself enough to do it. I like have to go in and like have a barber do it. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. So then I just kind of let it grow and let it do its thing. And yeah, it got pretty gnarly during the pandemic.
Amazing. Yeah, with a beard like yours, man, I wouldn't touch it myself. If I had that beard, I'd be like, once a week, go to the barber, have them do it all up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm definitely overdue for it a little now too. I gotta do that before going back to Boston. I gotta look my best.
It is looking a little nappy, but I'm a big fan of that look. So
for sure.
I do No Shave November. You know that?
Oh yeah.
Right. Quick story on that. 25 years ago, my uncle passed away partly because of prostate cancer. And I was a huge reader of Men's Health magazine, right? I got it every month in the mail. And there was this tiny, tiny little blurb about and they called it at that time, they called it No Shave November. Mm-hmm. And it was like 4 sentences long. It's like, let your gentlemen, let your beard grow to raise awareness for prostate cancer. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and I was like, all right. So since then, November 1st, dude, I put the razor down and just let it get all nappy. It gets nowhere near what yours is, but it gets nappy, dude. By the end of November, you're like, man, I gotta get rid of this fucking thing. But yeah, and it's fun to do that. And you know, obviously the whole idea is people just like us, we're sitting here talking about your beard, and you're like, why you grow your beard? Well, man, now it turned into the whole men's mental health and prostate cancer awareness and all that kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm
a big advocate for that. You know, mental health is it's what it is. It's a fucking beast.
Oh yeah.
So nobody has the right answer to, you know, you got to take your own personal journey and figure that out.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true.
You know, and I tell people the big reason I go to the gym, the physical part, man, fuck all that. It's up here in my head. Clears my head, you know.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. I'm the exact same way. I mean, as weird as it sounds, I mean, if I'm just feeling really stressed out or overwhelmed with things, if I go for a run, that's like my form of meditation in a way. Like I walk away from it feeling so much better, and I can think so much more clearly, and it keeps me sane, as weird as that sounds.
I tell people that all the time. I'll go for an hour and a half at the gym and try to break everything in the gym except for myself. And I feel so much better, and it just clears my mind, and I'm all calm again. And I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, there's a saying that I like, and it says, most men, hold on a second. Hold on. I'll fuck it up, but you'll get the point. Want to go to battle, you know, want to go to war, want to go to battle, want an adventure to go on, and want a woman to save. Something like that. I butchered it, but you can see it basically gets the point.
Yeah. And
I broke that down. I'm like, with you go into battle, you go run. Mm-hmm. That's your, you know, what, 1,000 years ago, we went running across the field with swords and shields and banged into each other and tried to kill each other. Of course, we don't do that anymore. But our DNA doesn't know that.
So true.
Right? So I use the gym for that. Sounds like you use running for that. And it's a form of meditation. You know, meditation doesn't have to mean you're sitting still and meditating. You can ride a motorcycle. You can go to the gym. You can run. You can do whatever you want that makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. I think there are definitely many forms of meditation. Like for you working out, for me running, that sort of physical activity, that movement. I mean, it just kind of gets everything in motion and gets you kind of thinking clear. It kind of like unclogs your brain a little bit. And at least for me, it does. And yeah, it does wonders. Well,
that means going back to us as a species, depending on what you believe in, but we're mammals, right? We crawled out of the mud and we became what we are now. We're meant to move around. We're meant to carry things. We're meant to walk down around hills and pick things up and carry things and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So of course it's going to make you feel better. I mean, just go walk in the park. Take 20 minutes and walk through the park and look how much better you feel. I mean, we're not made to sit in a car in traffic, walk up some stairs, sit in a cubicle all day staring at a computer, go cry in the bathroom and look at our phone, even though we don't have to go to the bathroom, but we're sitting in the toilet because we don't want to be at our desk. Anyway. But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So when I saw your website and all the shit you're doing, traveling around, and I'm like, oh, I got to talk to this guy. So I do appreciate you reaching out, man.
Of course.
I did listen to a couple episodes of your podcast. Looks like you just kind of got going.
Yeah, no, I just hit the 1 year mark a few weeks ago, actually just earlier this month. And yeah, I've already just learned so much through this whole process, just about, you know, conducting interviews, podcasting. I mean, I came from a journalistic background, actually. So I did some writing for my school newspaper in high school, and then took a few years off from it. And I started writing for this school newspaper again when I was in college. And then I started doing some freelance work for a music website. And then I eventually started doing some freelance work for a music magazine. So I got really comfortable and familiar with conducting interviews and primarily talking with musicians. And yeah, and then, you know, life kind of took over as the years went by, started working, you know, just with running. And then, yeah, started kind of picking up writing again, just kind of on my own terms. Started Juxtaposed Journeys, which started as a blog. And then during the pandemic, it turned into a podcast because I think ultimately more than anything, I miss kind of having these interpersonal conversations with people since I wasn't actually physically seeing anybody. And it was just kind of my way of just having these conversations still with people, but while still being safe. I've done all my interviews remotely and still continue to do so.
I do like sitting. Yeah, but there is something about sitting across the table from somebody and bullshitting.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to be completely honest, I would do that for more the local people, but I haven't figured out like the best formula and the best space for it because I have such a very amateur setup myself, and it's almost just like I need something a little bit better to record in person, and I haven't quite figured out that formula yet. But eventually, I will do that.
You know how you figure that out? Just keep doing it.
Exactly. Amen.
I part of my schedule of putting stuff on social media about the show, I put a little clip of like an older episode, right? Because the way I looked at it, I created 25 episodes before anybody ever knew on social media that I was making a podcast. So that way, when I dropped it, the website, and while I was doing the 25 episodes, I created the website, I created everything, right? And then kind of hit the start button. So there's a lot of episodes out there that are horrible that I did when I first started. And, but I went back to the third episode I ever did, and I made a little clip of it, and I put it out there, but we didn't even have headphones. And we had these cheap little tiny microphones that came with this kit that I bought from Amazon that I just plugged in, and I invited some friends over, and I'm like, let's just start bullshitting. And we had a great time, sound, of course the sound is a little different than what it is now, but I still used a little mixer that I got, but everything else has been upgraded throughout time. And that's all you do. Cause you could go down a rabbit hole with equipment. Trust me. I know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you being in the music world, you could go down this fucking rabbit hole, dude. You'd never end. You just keep adding stuff, and eventually you gotta be like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
This is comfortable. I'm comfortable. Sounds good. I know how to use it. And it's not like I'm driving a Lamborghini, I'm driving a Honda Civic. It gets me to where I want to go in a quality, but I'm utilizing what I have in front of me. If I was in a Lamborghini, I wouldn't be using, I'm in some of these groups, and they're like, you need these big mixers, and you need this, and you need that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm good, man. This is just for me and Eric to sit around and bullshit. I don't need to be like, it's no Joe Rogan, dude. I don't need all that. I don't need that, man. Whew.
No, I agree completely with what you're saying. I mean, I think the biggest lesson I learned is that I needed to tell myself, like, it's not going to be perfect. And that was such a breakthrough for me, because I think I got caught in that analysis paralysis stage to where I keep researching what's the best mic to use, where should I host my website, how should I structure the show, who should I, contract for music for the show or contact for that. Like, I was trying to get all this stuff figured out. And then eventually I just reached a point where I'm like, I just got to release some stuff. I just got to put some content out there, because it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to continue to learn, hopefully, after each episode and get better. And the only way I'm going to know when to do that is to just put it out there, get some feedback, get some tips from people, and, and just stick with it. And that's kind of the philosophy I've been living by.
Well, Now I've reached out to, first of all, let me back up. The episodes I was listening to, because I drive during the day, so I have time to listen to stuff. I can see the evolution of your ability going through the episodes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, dude. I enjoy it.
That means a lot.
Yeah, I enjoy it. So, and you know, again, you can go down a fucking rabbit hole. But there's two platforms that I use mainly for editing.
Okay.
And that's Filmora and Canva. Canva I use and I have Pro Edition with both. The only benefit of Pro Edition is there's no watermark.
Okay.
Then a few other little things, but I don't utilize it nowhere near what it's able to do.
Right.
But you can do, dude, I'm telling you, with those two things, right, none you can't do.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to do the whole, the big program that people edit with and all that. And I was like, I don't need all that. God damn, dude. I'm just doing this for a couple of times or once a week or so to bullshit with people. And I don't need it. You know, it's not going to win an Emmy. I'm not looking to do all that. And I had the opposite. I didn't have analysis paralysis, and that's kind of how I operate my whole life. I just, and then I just adjust as I'm going forward. Cause I think analysis paralysis stops a lot of people.
It does. And it's such a shame too, because I feel like there's some really talented people out there who could do some amazing things, but they just get stuck in that stage and they don't really get past that point of actually releasing content or doing something. And it's a shame because I'm sure there are tons of people out there who would make a podcast that's much better than mine and just haven't recorded anything and actually published anything.
Now, do you think part of that is they're worried about what people are going to say?
I think that does hang up a lot of people, unfortunately. Yeah, I think and it's tough. I mean, because you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable state, especially doing something creative like that, to where it's like you're releasing it for the world to see and for people to interpret or analyze. Sorry. And it's tough. I mean, we're all our own worst critic. And it's funny because I'll go back to some older episodes or I'll be like, oh man, I just couldn't get the audio to sound right in that episode. And I'm so like self-conscious about it, but I release it anyways. Like, I don't know how I can get it much better than this. And, you know, I have some friends who say they listen to the episode and I immediately am like, oh yeah, you know, I tried to do the best I could with the audio. And I'll sit there like, I didn't even notice. Like, why are you freaking out?
Until you brought it up. Wait a minute, let me go listen to it again now that you brought it up.
It's like, no, don't go back to it. Yeah.
No, and the other thing too is like the first couple, I noticed there's some stuff that I picked up, but I'm like, hey man, you know what? The guy put it out there. Yeah. The content, you know what? The content's great. So that's,
thank you.
You know, you got, and then I could see kind of like movies we got talking about a little bit before. You know, my example that I use is Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Did you watch that? You watched?
No, unfortunately I didn't. And it's weird because I don't know. I was like living under a rock apparently because I know some friends were like really into it. Like obviously I was aware that it existed and I got it stuck in my head. I was like, you know, I'm going to try reading the books and then try to do the episodes. And that was a bad idea because I started reading the books and I couldn't make sense of anything. Ended up putting it down. And then I heard from some people, it's actually easier to start with the TV series. And then if you want to explore the books further to do that, but then by that point I was seasons and seasons behind and I was like, I don't want to catch up. And yeah. Well,
that's my story. So I met my now wife and she's like, have you seen Game of Thrones? I'm like, same thing. I heard about it, you know. Yeah. And I was running a business and working 7 days a week all day. So, you know, you don't think about that stuff. And she's like, I think you would really like it. You know, she's like, we've gotten to know each other and stuff. She goes, I think you'll really like it. I'm going away for the weekend. And I was like, all right, cool. So I was drinking at the time. I was like, all right, I'll get a 6-pack of beer and a pizza. And I hit happy hour with my buddies and I'm like, hey guys, you see this show? And they're like, oh my God, you haven't seen it? You know? And I'm like, all right, dude, I'll go watch it. So I get home at like about 6-7 o'clock Friday night. I didn't see the outside until like Sunday at 6 p.m. Dude, and it was like I walk out and I got a big beard and I'm like looking at the sun going, I knew the pizza guy and the Chinese delivery guy by name. But I tell you, dude, the first episode hooked,
nice,
fucking hooked. And then I got to the end of the first season. Spoiler alert! But the dragon lady comes out, and there's, oh no, my wife's like, don't spoil it. And I'm like, yeah.
You're good.
And there's just nothing but killing, backstabbing, and fucking nudity. I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is right up my alley. And you couldn't get attached to any character because everybody dies, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the first season, I'm like, man, this is amazing. This is great. And the last scene of the last episode, everything burns up, and this lady walks out completely nude. Of course, she's hot, right? literally and figuratively, so she's all smoking, right? And all of a sudden, these little dragons, because there's eggs and stuff. Well, apparently they hatched, and now she's standing there naked, and all these little dragons come out, and I go, oh, now there's fucking dragons! Oh my god! And that was it. I was hooked, dude. I fucked all weekend. But anyway, it was amazing. But going back to production value, right? So we're talking about that with the podcast, right? So and I had a video company at the time. So production quality is, and I still look at stuff and go, oh, come on, dude, come on. Anyway, the first season, I was like, wow, man. Okay, I get it. It's the first season. They don't have a lot of money. And that second season, you're like, And by the fourth season, you're like, they have a budget. Look at this. So, dude, even a show or a production that huge is going through the same thing that you and I go through with this little thing, just a different scale. That's all.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, yeah. It's funny you mention that too, because I'm like a really big Seinfeld fan, and like I've watched the entire series, and in those beginning episodes, like the content itself is solid, but you can notice those little subtle production just differences, and even they have completely different castings for some of the characters. Like Jerry's dad is a completely different person, and then they eventually replace him with a completely different actor, and they don't explain any of it or anything. It's just that's just his dad now.
Yeah, the next episode it's his dad, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, major production companies and shows do that too. So yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and I'm a big fan. Just put it out there.
Yeah,
you're not gonna know. And if somebody's like, well, that sucks, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, don't watch it then.
Right. I know. I'm always the type that almost like challenge someone. It's like, okay, like how can I make it better? Like, I mean, or just like almost just, like, oh, do you have an idea for a show that'd be really cool or something like that? Like, all right, then do it, like put it out there, and not to be like just be defensive or just like throw fighting words out there or anything, but it's almost like a sense of encouragement or something like that. Like, no, if you got an idea for a show that's like really good or an idea, do it. Seriously.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that'd be awesome. People need that stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, the theory I go with, if I put something out there and I think it's funny or interesting, there's a lot more people out there that think it's funny and interesting as well. I can't be the only one, right?
Right.
And the other thing too is somebody gives you criticism about your show, right? So you can, like what you just said, you can take some criticism because it's coming from a good place. They're like, oh man, hey, and they say whatever they want to say. But then there's some people that are like just being vindictive about it. And then you're like, I just don't need that. So you just handle it however you want to handle it and move on, man. I don't need that.
Right.
And I just like your stuff so far, man. So I'll continue to follow along
awesome. Likewise. Thank you.
Yeah. Michigan.
Yeah.
You're not up in the UP, are you?
I am not. I am in Lansing, so Lower Peninsula, and UP is a totally different beast. I feel like. That's a whole. I don't know if you've ever been, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I brought it up. That's a whole other country, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. You're like, do I need a passport to get in this joint? But I know
it's wild.
My ex-wife, her family's from up there, and then they all eventually moved back up there, so they're all up that way, and it's fucking beautiful up there, though.
Oh, it is.
Oh my god,
it's very beautiful. It's a beautiful state.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of that, what's up with New Jersey, bro? Come on, man.
No, I know. Like okay, so you may have probably already seen this because you're digging through my stuff, or if you saw the blog post. But yeah, I've done a marathon in New Jersey. I did the Atlantic City Marathon, and yeah, that was like my first time in Jersey. Didn't really know what to expect, and yeah, I had a good time. It was it was fun. Like I have not been back since. That was October of 2019. But yeah, any sort of recommendations or things to check out? Like I'd always open to hear that.
my wife is a big runner, and she's ran multiple races down there.
Okay.
And she's like, it's flat.
Yeah, it's flat.
Atlantic City, it's flat. But I saw that and I was like, I got to bust this guy's balls about it. Jersey City or New Jersey. What, you didn't see any smokestacks on the turnpike? Because that's, that's what everybody always says that oh man, Jersey's just all smokestacks and cities. Dude, actually, Jersey's beautiful.
Oh man, that reminds me. I don't know if you've ever been in. I think it's what is the name of the city? It's a restaurant called Shut Up and Eat. Have you ever been there? Heard of it?
Mm-mm.
I want to say it's in Tom Rivers, New Jersey. Is that a city?
Yeah, Tom Rivers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Tom Rivers, and that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really. I had a blast there. It was really cool. Like my brother got like a T-shirt and stuff, and yeah, had a good time there. It was just like that, very kind of, like almost just like the kind of unapologetic attitude you get from like a local diner type thing. But like I love that kind of stuff, to where you just kind of they don't really take any crap and stuff, and that's like, here's the food, take it or leave it type thing. And like,
oh yeah,
I love that. It's great. I love those kind of environments, especially for those local hot spots, and very much so that food was awesome. Yeah. I loved it.
Jersey's known for their diners.
Yeah.
You can, and it's that the lady that she's been a waitress for 40 years and calls you hun and gives you, rubs your shoulder when she walks by. What do you need, baby? Oh man, I can take some coffee. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jersey. Those places.
Oh, me too. And like you said, that's a great way to explain it. The people around, just unapologetic. What do you want, dude?
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not being mean.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm busy, dude. What do you want? I need 5 gallons of gas. Okay, cool.
Like it's kind of refreshing to be in those environments because they're not hiding anything. That they're just being themselves.
Yeah. No, they don't hide. If they think you're a dick, they'll tell you.
Oh yeah. It's just like, call people out. That's great.
Yeah. Have you done any other marathons up this, in the Northeast? Where else have you done?
So I've done the Boston Marathon 4 times. I'm about to be going back for my 5th time next month. John. It's the only marathon I've done more than once. And
my knees hurt just thinking about that.
It's an experience. I mean, it's one of those like bucket list pipe dream races I never even thought I'd do. And then fortunate enough to qualify back in 2016 was the first year I did it. And and then I've been lucky to kind of re-qualify pretty much ever since. I haven't done it since 2019, and then everyone pretty much knows what happened in 2020. And I didn't run a qualifying time to get in that year anyway. It was a slow year for me, but they had the option to do it virtually. I was like, that's not the same. I wanted you to go back and, do it. So I didn't do it in 2020. Same thing in 2021. I actually made a decision. So they postponed it till the fall, and I wanted to do it really bad, but I ultimately made the decision to do Chicago instead, because Chicago was the day before Boston. I was like, I realistically can't do 2. Like, I mean, to go all the way to Chicago to Boston, not only the logistics of that, but then to run a marathon back to back, that's a little too much.
Well, you're not, what's his name? The Iron Cowboy? God damn, dude. I assume you read that or know the story, right?
I don't even know if I'm familiar with that story. What's the Iron Cow? I know it. Crazy.
Holy cow. He did 50 Iron Man. Not just a marathon, but an Iron Man in 50 states in 50 days.
God, that's crazy. I can't even wrap my head around that.
Your facial expression, you didn't even have to say anything. You're just like, wow. It's a great story, dude. And just the fucking logistics. Like, the reason I brought it up is And he had his wife and 3 kids, and he was trying to get some family members to help him with social media because they're raising it for a cause, and he's doing it for a cause and all that.
That's cool though. Yeah,
it's a great story, man. If you get a chance to do that. But another book, Born to Run.
Yeah, it's funny. I have so many runner friends that like really praise that book. I think I might own a copy of it, but I still have not read it, and I need to, because there are so many different just celebrities and people who like claim to have read that book, and they weren't a runner before, but they became a runner. I believe Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think that was his kind of story, because I think it was him, because he picked up that book, he read it, and then he just became a runner after that and started doing marathons. And I think that's so cool. Like that's really what sparked it for him.
No, it's a great book. And disclaimer, I didn't read it, I listened to it.
Okay.
Oh, Audible, baby. Woo!
I still need to hop on the Audible train. I don't know. I'm old school, I guess, and I still like to just sit down and physically read a book. I wouldn't even do Kindles or anything. It has to be like a physical book. But I never can understand it though, because I listen to podcasts like all day, but I still haven't gotten on audiobooks. It's the same concept, but I don't know. I'm sure I'm probably trending in that direction, but yeah, still haven't officially switched. there's
life before and after Audible.
Yeah.
The thing is on it, like, I don't know about you, it sounds like you consume information by physically reading it, right?
Yeah.
I consume information better in an Audible form.
Okay.
Like I can bring it in and digest it and make sense of it more in an Audible form than I can reading. But the books, I agree with you, and we're kind of kindred spirits with that. I love having a physical book hanging on to it and like turning the page and having it creak and smell. But I do, I call them bubblegum reads, like Belducci and Lee Childs and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Those are my physical, like, hang on to a book and physically read.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I enjoy reading.
Yeah. For the longest time, I would strictly pretty much read for information. So I would read a lot of nonfiction, a lot of like memoirs, and a lot of just kind of like drier stuff, but it's like subject matters that really interest me and stuff I would just want to learn more about. And I was just stuck down that rabbit hole for the longest time. And then for whatever reason, something kind of changed in me, and I started reading more fiction. And I noticed that I gravitate towards a lot of like content that's controversial. So like I loved, getting my hands on some banned books or something like that. Something that really like stirs the pot with people. And I just love like reading it and just seeing like, okay, what is it that kind of rubbed people the wrong way about this? Or why is this so controversial? So in a way, I guess I still am reading for information, because I don't know, maybe this information can come in handy at pub trivia or something if they ask about a banned book or controversial author. I'm hoping anyway. None of the questions have come up yet. But
I can see you just, you're laying in bed in the morning, you're daydreaming, or you're trying to fall asleep at night, and you're that guy at the 10:30 at night, and the final bar trivia question comes up, and you're like, I got this. And
it's like the best feeling.
And they pick you up in a chair. They pick you up in the chair, and like, and they run you around. They're like, yeah.
Exactly. No, I got I actually have a trivia team that we go every Thursday to this place right outside Lansing and Mason called Bad Brewing. So shout out to my trivia team, Wayne the Brain McLean.
Wayne the Brain McLean. I love it. I love it.
It's great. I mean, I got a group of people there. We go pretty much every week and do some pub trivia, and it feels good when you just like know something or you win some, but it's still fun either way, even if you don't do as well that night. It's I don't know. I just love trivia.
Yeah, me too. I'm full of just crazy, stupid facts that like
same.
Have no weight in anything. And like, I'll just blurt one out and people are like, okay, that was really cool, but that goes along with nothing that we're talking about. I'm like, it just popped in my mind, so I wanted to tell you.
I know they're just those times you're just itching to throw something into a conversation that you just learned, and when it works out really well to where it's relevant, like I was just reading about this, and then you probably just look really manic and crazy. It's like, this guy's wacko,
Yeah. Why are you reading about the buzz flies in Southern Africa on the continent? I don't know, man. I just thought it was pretty cool reading. But
actually, that reminds me. When I was out, when I was out in Boston for I want to say it was maybe the third year I did it.
Here's a guy. Oh, I can't even count how many Boston marathons I did.
I know it sounds so egotistical, but no, we were hanging around Salem because I really wanted to experience that city. And then we were out there on Friday the 13th. So I was like, we got to do like a witch tour and like experience it. And I probably look like a serial killer in that tour because we're going through and they're spouting up all these different facts. And they're like, how did this person die during the witch trials? And I knew the answers, like no one else did. And people probably thought I was nuts.
Oh yeah. Well, we do that too. We'll be out doing something, the same thing with me. And they're like, how the hell do you know that? I'm like, I have no idea. I just, you dug it out of my brain when you said this, or you said that, you like all that haunted stuff?
Oh God, I love it. Like and it makes me. I'm really showing my cards here. It's making me look like a psychopath. But
yeah, we're all we're all psychopaths, dude.
Right? No, it's like a nightly thing. My brother Joel and I will watch like Ghost Adventures or Paranormal Caught on Camera or some sort of like weird cryptid documentary, or just something really heavy and weird and unexplainable like that. Like we'll watch that pretty much every night. And then I'll still go to bed and sleep like a baby at night, and that's my normal nightly routine. Yeah, I become so desensitized to all of it, and it's kind of bad.
that shit. Yeah, me too. That's like caffeine. I could drink a Monster and go and crawl and go to bed. And
I never stop drinking coffee. Like I've talked to other people and they're like cut themselves off at like noon or 1 because it's like getting too late in the day. Like I straight up have like coffee next to me at like midnight, like on a work night, and I still sleep fine. Like I don't even think it does anything for me anymore.
Yeah, when somebody does that stuff like, I got to stop at noon, I'm like, the fucking rookie numbers there. Get out of here. But man, dude, get a pen, dude. I got a podcast for you.
Yep.
New England Legends.
I feel like I've heard of that actually.
Dude, they're like 15 minutes long and the production value is awesome.
Oh, I'm definitely going to check. I can never get enough of the paranormal podcasts or like the podcast explaining the unexplainable. I love all that. I
like these guys. They're fun. They're lighthearted. It's not all like, so we went over here and didn't. It's like, no, they're all fun and they joke around and they make little corny dad, quote unquote, dad joke kind of thing, jokes,
Nice.
And again, they're like 15 minutes long, so they're easily consumable. Yeah. Check them out, dude. I really enjoy that one. That's one of my favorite ones. And then Kitchen Table Historian.
Okay.
That's about like true crime murders in the Midwest, so that might strike home with you a little bit there.
Yeah.
The Kitchen Table Historian, John is his name. He's been on my show. And he's an inspiration for me, like his production value and the way he tells stories and stuff like that. And he's just a really nice guy. So
that's cool.
And then Jeff Belanger, I hope I pronounced that right, does the New England Legends one with another guy, and I can't remember his name. But Jeff Belanger, you might want to have him on your show, dude. I would love that. Yeah, he does. That's like his job is paranormal stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've had a couple paranormal investigators on my show, and I love those conversations. Like one of them I went to high school with, my friend Austin Maynard. I had gym class with him. And then like he's randomly having cameos on these paranormal shows that I'm watching. I'm like, I went to high school with this guy. So I reached out to him, was like, dude, you want to like be on a podcast and talk about this stuff? So yeah, for sure. And like, from that, he got me in connection. Like he got me an interview with the Tennessee Wraith Chasers from the Travel Channel. That was nuts. They were really cool guys. And like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a blast, dude. But I got to tell you real quick too. So that interview I had with my friend Austin, like we talked for like 2 hours. We talked for so long just about this stuff. And it was such a great conversation. I mean, we were getting on some really interesting tangents. And then towards the end of it, his laptop died. And like he just cut out. And he's texting me. He's like, "Hey man, sorry, my laptop died." I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And we couldn't get the audio to sound quite right. I think he was trying to join through his phone or some other device. it wasn't sounding quite right. I was like, do you want to just finish this up tomorrow? We got like 10 minutes left type thing. It's like, yeah, that's fine. So it finished it up the next day. And then like I'm going through and editing the episode. I shit you not, I got some weird stuff on that, on like his audio feed that I cannot explain. I tried, I sent it to him, and I don't know if he's really looked at it too much or said much about it, but like I played it for people, and it's weird. I don't know. I put it on Google Drive. Like I was like, I think I may have unintentionally captured like a disembodied voice or something, because it's weird and it's unsettling. And I was like, I don't know what I caught here. It's bizarre.
Shit, yeah, dude. That's awesome. Good for. Oh, I love that kind of stuff. Have you ever had an experience like that, like personally?
So a little bit, actually. So I live in my grandparents' old house, and my grandpa actually passed away in the house. And there's some, minor activity actually that still happens in the house. Like my brother sleeps in my grandparents' old bedroom, and literally like on a pretty much daily basis, a light will turn on its own pretty much every day. That always happens. And I'm just kind of used to it now. Like I'll be working on my laptop or something up here. Like I'll come downstairs, his light will be on, and I like just shut it off. Either his light will be on or the fan will be on. It'll just turn on its own.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's not even like an instance of where like, I probably shut it off and forgot. Like I've literally had instances to where I'm watching TV, I'm just by myself, and I can see his room, at the end of the hall, and I just physically hear his light click on.
Oh, that would fucking
like for real, that happens.
now that would freak me out if like, you're watching TV and you're in the like that pre-nap mode where you're kind of half asleep, but you know what's going on and you hear a click. Huh, fuck. Yeah. But I obviously you believe that ghosts are real. Yeah. I'm a believer in that. Yeah, because I just think that like our energy has to go somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So that's. But God, I think I was in like the 4th or 5th grade, and we lived in a small house. It was a brick house, but it was the size of a double wide trailer.
Okay.
Right. And at the very end was a wood stove, and it heated the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sick. And I was laying on the couch, and the top of my head was toward the wood stove, right? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a hallway thing. I'm laying there staring at the ceiling, and I hear footsteps. And I was like, okay. And I hear the footsteps go right by me. And I was like, what the? And I hear the wood stove. Now I look at the wood stove. I'm looking at the wood stove. I can see it. Just like if you're looking at your refrigerator.
Yeah.
I hear the door open where it goes, I feel heat come out of the wood stove, the sound of a log being chucked on the fire, the door closing, and then footsteps walking away. And I was like,
really?
And ever since then, I'm like, I'm a believer.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy. And people are like, oh, you were sick, you had a fever, all that. I'm like, dude, I know what I saw. I know what I felt. I know what I heard. I know what I saw. So that was, and since then, I've always had a fascination with that. And some of these TV shows and podcasts, it's so fucking corny, dude. You're like, I can't listen to them, man. And that's why I like the New England one there. They really, and then Jeff has a little thing on his side that Jeff Belanger does a little thing on his side. I'll do an intro email to you guys. I think you guys will hit it off, and he'd probably love to come on your show.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love that.
Okay.
I love those conversations.
Yeah, and he's a super nice guy. And he's he's a runner too. So you guys.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Get on that.
We got plenty to talk about.
Oh yeah. But speaking of running, did I say Utah? Is that what I'm seeing my notes? Yeah, Utah. That is probably, there's 2 places in this country that I've been, me personally, and I've been to a lot of places. I used to ride my motorcycle all over the country.
Oh, nice.
And there's two places that are like on another planet. When you're there, you're like, this is not real. What I'm looking at is not real.
Yeah.
And Utah was one of them. And it's like, like those sculptures, the sand and all that. And there's a road, because I used to ride from Colorado Springs to Vegas, and I go through Utah, where it's like 125 miles, and there's no service, no houses, no nothing, and there's big signs before you start, and all that.
Yeah.
Riding through that, dude, you're like, I'm on Mars, bro. This is like another planet. It's beautiful. Oh my God, so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I feel the exact same way, because that's exactly how I've described it too. It doesn't even feel like you're on Earth anymore. It just feels like another planet.
Yep. And Yellowstone is the other place. You been to Yellowstone?
I have. I've been there twice, and it's a very big park. I mean, it encompasses 3 states, so it's. Yeah, right. I feel like I'm not even scratching the surface with it, but I want to say the first time I went, I did the Mammoth Hot Springs, I think it was called. I think that's on maybe the north end of the park. And, I did Old Faithful. And then, it's, I'm trying to remember where I went the second time. I went back to Old Faithful, but then I want to say I came in the western side of the park. No. Or was it eastern? Either way, yeah, I've been there twice.
my buddy and I back in Colorado, we took on a bet. We were drinking at the time, but we took on a bet that we could ride from Colorado Springs to Yellowstone and back in like 4 days. Because then this is how much we were drinking. We're looking at a map. We're like, oh yeah, it's only that far. We could do that. Dude, no clothes, no spare clothes, nothing, dude. Off we went. Dude, it was amazing. Such a great trip. But speaking of Old Faith, so we roll into Yellowstone. I don't know. We came up through Idaho, so we came up that way because obviously we went to Old Faithful. That was the bet. We had to get a picture at Old Faithful.
Okay.
And just rolling through there. Of course, you're not going very fast, right? And a motorcycle, you can feel and smell the air, and that's part of the reason I love motorcycles. And
oh yeah.
Just the scenery and the shit bubbling up from the earth, and you're just like, where am I? Did I get like time warped to some other planet? It's so beautiful though, dude. So beautiful.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. If anybody, you got a chance to go to, if you got me personally, if you got to go anywhere, and if you like national parks and stuff like that, go to Utah or Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
It'll blow your fucking mind. But we come rolling in Old Faithful, right? And here we are, dude. We've been wearing the same clothes, and we're just a fucking disaster. And we're sitting there, and it was like, okay, apparently Old Faithful goes off every like 22 minutes or something. I don't know what it was at the time. Probably the same now, but whatever it was. And we're sitting there, and my buddy is a complete smart ass. I mean, he is just a ball busting dude, like all the time about everything. So we're sitting there, and of course there's bleachers around Old Faithful, right? But we're standing next to one of the bleachers, and the bleachers are full, and everybody's sitting. And that thing starts to bubble, and my buddy grabs his little camera and goes, oh, runs up. Dude, everybody stands up, comes like really close and gets their camera up, and he's like, oh, man, no, not this time. And everybody sits back down. And a few minutes later, it starts bubbling. He does it again. He does it like 4 times. I'm like, dude, you need to stop this shit. But we had a good time with it, man. And of course, it goes off. We take some pictures, take some selfies, and like, okay, proof we've been here.
Right.
Gone. And of course, we didn't make it. Dude, we rode.
That's a drive.
Yeah, we rode like 12, 13 hours a day at high speed, and not even close, dude. But anyway, it was a great adventure and saw some beautiful things. But coming out of Yellowstone into Jackson Hole.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I love it there.
Now, it amazes me that the way we went, and again, I was inebriated, but we were coming out, and we take this curve to the left, and like out of nowhere, the Teton Mountains were like right in front of me. Like like almost I could reach out and touch them. It was crazy the way they looked. They look fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so cool though. So cool, man. That whole place is amazing. Did you run up there? Did you run up there?
This was like a separate trip. I haven't done any races by there, unfortunately, but they're on my list for sure. I know there's a marathon. I believe it takes place either right around or right in Glacier in Montana, and it's beautiful there. I mean, I want to go back already because I got a small taste of it, but I didn't even do going to the Sun Road because I took an RV and it's too big to take on going to the Sun Road, which is like the main road to take.
Yeah.
But it's such a pretty park though, and I feel like time is ticking with that one because I mean the glaciers are melting and there's only I want to say like 30 or so left in the park. There used to be hundreds, and
no shit.
Yeah, it's evolving. It's changing. The glaciers are disappearing slowly.
Yep, that's a fact. And there's going to be some bacteria in there that's going to come out and kill us all, dude.
Yeah, probably.
I had a long time ago. I had a guy on. He is expert in post-apocalyptic scenarios. Dude,
that'll keep you up at night.
Yeah, he goes. I'm a downer to talk to, and by the end of the conversation, I'm like, dude, you are not a downer. Stop telling people that. That was a great conversation. But his theory is that what will devastate mankind is exactly that. That one of two things, that bacteria, unlike a virus, bacteria, if one type of bacteria gets immune to our medicines, it'll pass that immunity on to other bacteria.
Yeah. And
his theory is that something like strep throat will wipe out 60% of humanity. Because
honestly, I can see it.
Yeah, me too.
It's messed up, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said it either that or because of the glaciers melting, there's going to be some bacteria that comes out that's been sitting there for thousands of years. We don't have an immunity to it. We don't have anything to it, and it'll wipe a bunch of us out.
I could see that too.
Yeah. and he's a super interesting guy, man. He's I truly enjoyed talking to him, but but that just reminded me when the glaciers. See, look.
Yeah.
Facts, when something happens, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, I got a story for that.
I know, it's crazy how that works.
But what got you into the whole running thing, man? Like, the goal of hitting all these marathons and doing that. What happened? Did you like wake up in the middle of the night and be like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. I'm going to run all these marathons.
I keep trying to pinpoint it. And so I've been a runner for as long as I can remember it. Like my dad would take me on these 2-mile routes when I was a kid. I was probably just in elementary school because he was a runner back in the day. That was something he did. And then I just kind of went through the motions with it for the longest time. Like I felt like I had a natural gift for it. And and then it slowly, over time, like it became part of my identity. I grew to really appreciate it more, and it just became part of who I am, really. And I feel like that shift kind of happened in high school to when I really started taking it more seriously, like wanting to get better, wanting to get more serious with my training. And then, so I ran all throughout high school, through college. It made me meet some amazing people who are still some of my closest friends today. And I got to, see different parts of the country through running. I remember even in high school, I went to Australia to do a race. So like I got to have a taste of like the world and everything through running, which was all really cool and such an amazing experience. And then down the road, I actually didn't do my first marathon until after I was done in college because I was already running year round, training at a pretty high level. It's kind of hard to squeeze a marathon in based on my training schedule and my, so it's like, I'm going to wait till after I'm graduating, after I'm done with eligibility. And so I graduated in December 2014 from college. And then I did my first marathon in June of 2015. And some of my college buddies and I, we were all talking, and my friend Tyler was just like, hey, we should do the Charlevoix Marathon in Michigan and try to qualify for Boston, kind of go as a group. It's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. And so he's even made like a training schedule for people, and I like stuck to that because he's kind of a whiz with that stuff. So it's like, I don't really know how to prepare for a marathon, but I feel like you know more of what you're doing with this, and at least like the training aspect of it. So let's do it.
And I can follow instructions.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, yeah. So shout out to him because he kind of put that first like model together, and I followed that, and it worked out really well. Because I did the Charlevoix Marathon, and I ended up qualifying for Boston. He did too. A few of us did, and then it kind of just the gears started turning in my head almost, while I'm on the plane to Boston, and kind of like, or just kind of when I get there and I'm walking around along the streets and kind of soaking in the culture and the energy of the place. And I'm like,
yeah, for sure,
man, this is so much fun. I love this. It's like, I want to experience this everywhere and do this in every state. Like there was just something so cool to me about just traveling to this place to run a race and just having the familiarity of running something I know very well in an unfamiliar place and going through the motions in my routine of, picking up my packet, doing my little pre-race rituals, but having it being in a different environment every time. There's just something so special about that.
Oh, and, dude, yeah. I got goosebumps, dude. That's awesome. And like the weather, different smells and the weather is different. And yeah. Oh, that's great, dude.
Yeah, and it is definitely not always smooth sailing. I'm ready to say that's part of the fun of it, honestly. Like, it 100%. Just makes a funny story later.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like I lived in Colorado for 20 years. And Colorado Springs, one of the best kept secrets is the weather.
Yeah.
It's like 70 degrees all the time.
Oh, that's
all
awesome.
the time, right? Because Colorado Springs is a high desert. It's 6,500 feet in the air, but it's desert. So now you got basically the temperature of a desert. And to me, that's boring, dude. Now I live in New Jersey and I get all 4 seasons every day. So
yeah, pretty much.
To me, I like that. I'm more of, maybe as I get older, that might change. And if it was 70 degrees and perfect temperature and humidity every time you went to do a race, everywhere you went, would that be boring? Right?
Yeah, it'd probably get old after a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Running through rain and heat, or both at the same time, or you start in heat and then you run through rain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's and every place is just so much different, and I remember and some stuff I just didn't know how to prepare or train for because I said before I'm born and raised in Lansing, Michigan, where it's basically at sea level. I don't have to worry about elevation or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was my fifth state for marathons. It was out in Arizona, and ironically, it was in October, so I didn't really have to worry about heat. Actually, it's in the northern part. It was in Holbrook, right by the petrified forest, but I had to worry about elevation. So it was around like 7,000 feet, and not what I'm used to.
No, that's a big difference.
Quite a bit. And I had this idea in my head. I'd go there and get acclimated with the altitude a little bit, and like maybe go on some runs there. But that didn't really happen. I was soaking in the city. I was having fun. I actually doing like a solo trip. I was like, I'll just kind of wing it, and then I adjust as I go. And I went out and I was huffing and puffing after like the first mile. It's like, I need to scale it back a little. This is clearly, I'm clearly not used to this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, but see, that's what makes it cool, right?
Yeah.
You were getting acclimated in a different way. That's all.
Yeah. For sure. And then, and then speaking of Colorado, that's been my ultimate test from an elevation standpoint, because I did this in Steamboat Springs, and absolutely beautiful there.
Oh dude, yeah, that's
every turn was like a postcard. They just had the wide open ranches out there, the mountains. It was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I had such a blast in that city. And then I celebrated after the race and went to the hot springs, and it was great.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You're gonna do the run up there at what's that city? Damn it! I just
in Colorado.
Yeah, it's like way up.
Is it Boulder or is it?
No, it's damn it, dude! Somebody's probably yelling at us, and they know what it is. But it's some like little town way up in the mountains, and they do a race. I don't know if it's a cross country race. It's not like a marathon. I don't know if you mess around with cross country or not, but God, now you know what? In 10 minutes, I'll blurt it out because it'll hit me again. But anywhere just about anywhere in Colorado is drop dead gorgeous, dude. You know, again, I spent 20 years out there, and I had a Jeep at the time, and one of the best things you could ever own in Colorado was a Jeep Wrangler with a top down. Holy cow!
For sure.
And I had a red and white border collie that rode around with me in the back. So that was like right out of a postcard too. Me and him, me and her riding around. But yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, but like, have you done Florida, California, that kind of thing?
No, I haven't yet. There are multiple. So for California, I really want to do Big Sur, which is right on Highway 1, right on the coast. And
my wife, we've been through there on a motorcycle and a convertible.
Yeah, I think I mainly just keep forgetting to sign up for it, and because it fills up fast. And then by the time I remember, I was like, it filled up. I got to save it for next year. And But no, I really want to do that one. I've heard great things about it. And I hear that, speaking of, I guess, just elevation stuff, I hear that one's super hilly. So that's going to be something to prepare for.
So my wife's dad lives in San Francisco, and her mom and sister live down San Diego.
Nice.
So for years, what we do is we go see her dad, and then we take some weird vehicle down the coastal highway, right? And Big Sur, the first time we did it, she's like, "Oh, wait till you see Big Sur, Big Sur." And it's beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Yeah.
So I'm so excited for that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely on the list. And then I think Florida, I looked at a couple that I heard were really good. I know a lot of people talk about the Disney Marathon, which I'll probably just do for the novelty of it. Like it's a fun race. People seem to really enjoy it. And
I imagine the thing with that one, because we have some friends that do that, and I imagine the atmosphere would just be electric. It'd just be a lot of fun. Yeah.
That stuff, it sounds cliche, but it makes a big difference. I mean, like, the energy in Boston, for a race of that caliber is it's so much different than like a small time race. And like the small time races are good and they're fun and they're intimate and I love them, but there's something about just, people lining the streets in Boston, just yelling, and it's deafening, and it's so, you get caught up in it.
Oh, 100%. So your small town races are your Friday night dirt track go-kart racing, and Boston is your IndyCar racing.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, that's a good analogy there.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Boston, though, for people listening, I don't even know either, so I want to know what's the qualifying time?
So it varies depending on what your age group is and whatnot. For mine, it's usually in the 3 hour, 5 minute range for a marathon. They just recently, buckled down on a little bit more and reduced it down to 3 hours, which, if I'm doing my math right, that is right around 6:59 7-minute miles.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's no joke.
So what I'm wondering though, okay, so from basically 3:05 to 3. Okay, so for 3 hours, 5 minutes, 3 hours, 5 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
How many people, numbers wise, would you guess that they eliminate from qualifying from going from 3:05 to 3?
Oh yeah, that's quite a few. I mean, it's funny because this is actually the first year for this upcoming Boston to where anyone who ran a qualifying time got in, and I think it ultimately depends on how many people apply. What the field size is looking like, because it's normally right around 30,000 runners, and there's a lot of people that do Boston. But and I guess it depends on the year and how many people are doing it. But I imagine by the thousands, because those minutes make a big difference. I mean, I can imagine. And depending on how long or short the race is, I mean, you can have races where seconds, make a huge difference too, just depending on what context you're talking about. But it's bad. It's crazy. And it's heartbreaking too, because it's like those people who really want to do Boston and they like run a qualifying time, but maybe don't get in because because there's already just a few people in front of them who ran just a little bit faster.
Oh,
that's happened. Yeah.
Oh, I could see that. Now, are there certain races throughout the year that, okay, this one you can qualify for Boston, but this one you can't? It doesn't let you, right? I imagine they gotta
Yeah, they're and usually a lot of races are pretty upfront about like this is a Boston qualifying course, and they'll say that like as their little as one of the little like kind of selling points, selling points to try to get you to do it. Like this is a certified course to qualify for Boston, and that usually gets people to bite on it. But yeah, and for the most part, most races are, even like the smaller ones you wouldn't think. So, and because that's just like a big bucket list race everyone wants to do. So I think everyone like kind of fights for that certification to be an official course. And yeah, so most of the races I do are that. And normally I've gotten pretty lucky, and I actually run a qualifying time for the next year in the Boston Marathon. So then I don't have to worry about requalifying. But I actually in 2019 I just didn't have a good day. I was like 10 minutes slow, and I was like, well, I got more races throughout the year. I can qualify somewhere else. And okay, so I kid you not. Speaking of heartbreaking, I did the Flying Pig Marathon in Cincinnati, Ohio, about a month later, and that was such a wild story because I actually got diagnosed with an upper respiratory infection like days before the race. So I was like, I don't even know how this is going to go, but I want to stick to it. I'm signed up for the race. I don't want to eat the cost of it or anything. And so I took these, antibiotics and whatnot, and just trying to feel better. And I traveled down there. I'm still kind of feeling, but I go down there and I do my thing and I do the race, and I'm in a groove. I'm feeling good. And I'm looking at my watch. And I'm like, holy shit, like I could actually requalify for Boston in this race, because I ran around 3:10 in Boston. And as I was on pace to run 3 hours or under. And that was just when they changed it to the 3-hour benchmark. So I could totally do this. And I'm coming in as hard as I can. I was like, I know it's going to be close. And I'm just trying to go as fast as I can in those last couple miles. And I finish 3 hours, 13 seconds. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
You might as well not even ran it.
Yeah, I was like 13 seconds away.
Holy shit. Can't you be like, hey, bro.
I mean, and it's one of those things, too. I mean, realistically, I probably would have had to have ran like a 2:58 or 2:50. Like they say to really guarantee a spot, you should probably be a few minutes under to really make sure you get in. But so I probably wouldn't have gotten in anyway, even if I was 2:59. But still, it's just one of those things. I was like
13
seconds. Couldn't even submit my application.
13? Yeah. That's like, I'm a big poker player. I love playing Hold'em and other games, I don't know how much you're familiar with it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you play in tournaments, right? And you eliminate people, collect chips, eliminate people, and the whole idea is to get down to the final table and get paid. Mm-hmm. And then right before the spot where they start paying money is called the bubble. And you'll play for 2 days and go out on the bubble. You're like, I might as well have went out yesterday. So I know how you feel, dude, because I've been there in the card game where like you're just close. All that work and you're just close. Dude, I am truly inspired by, your story with your running and stuff. That's cool.
Thank you.
What you've been doing with your show and your blogs and stuff. That's good reading, man. So I highly recommend everybody to jump over to your website, and in the show notes, I'll have all the links, man. So don't worry about that.
Awesome.
But we could go on for another 2 hours, man. So
God, I know we could.
Yeah, holy Christ. And I don't think we talked about, I know I'm looking at my notes. We didn't talk about half the shit I got up there. And we're not even going to get into movies right now because it'll be midnight before we get done with it.
That'd be another few hours.
Yeah. But, let's, obviously we'll stay connected and keep it on there. So
for sure.
Just give everybody a shout out where, best place to see you. And again, I'll have everything in the show notes, but holler at everybody and then.
For sure. Yeah. So name's Eric Spitz. You can just add me on Facebook and LinkedIn, Twitter, Letterboxd, and Untapped are Eric with the hair. Instagram, Eric with the beard. I probably should make those a little more consistent, but it's
dude, you got to go with the beard, bro.
I gotta stick with Eric with the beard. I've been meaning to change those other handles, but
it's Eric the Beard.
Beard named Eric. Yeah.
I mean, you put Eric in parentheses the and then beard. Eric the Beard.
I know I'm more beard than Eric these days, but but yeah. And then like we were mentioning before, Juxtaposed Journeys. You can find that wherever you stream your podcast, so Apple, Spotify, Audible. And then juxtaposedjourneys.com is the main website. That's kind of a catch-all for everything. You can read my blog posts. You can listen to the podcast on there. You can look at some of my videos, which I do have a YouTube channel as well, and that's Juxtaposed Journeys. And I unfortunately don't have my podcast episodes on there. I may convert stuff to that eventually, but mainly it's just me gushing in national parks and being a goon on camera. So if that's your thing, you can find that on Juxtaposed Journeys on YouTube. And then Facebook and Instagram, just at Juxtaposed Journeys, all one word. Recently got on Twitter, and it's Jux Journeys Pod. And I also, speaking of movies, I also co-host on a movie podcast called Films for the Void. And you can get that wherever you stream your podcast as well. And Twitter for that is films_void. So I got plenty of stuff to keep people busy.
Man, dude, sounds like you keep busy too.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I thought I had some stuff going on. God damn, bro.
Yeah, I do not get much sleep these days.
Now, Letterbox, is that for all your writing and stuff, I assume?
Yeah, so Letterbox, actually, I feel like you'd really like. So that is like a social media platform for movies. Like I check in movies, I rate them, I make little lists of like, I don't know, I'm super OCD, so I have lists for everything. I got a list for favorite films released during a certain year, favorite films that I watched during a certain year. So they could be from any time period, but they're just ones that I watched during the year. And then I have lists by director, based on like ranked list on on my favorite films by certain directors.
God damn, bro.
Yeah, I got tons of stuff on there. And so if you like movies and you're interested in what my takes are on them, and you're looking for something else in addition to the podcast and my hot takes there, you can check out my Letterbox, and I try to be funny on there with reviews once in a while. So hopefully you find it entertaining.
Yeah, you gotta have some humor, man. That makes the world go round, dude. You can't be serious all the time. But dude, I appreciate you coming on. I've truly enjoyed hanging out with you. And again, looking through your stuff, really inspirational, man. So I highly recommend everybody to get on there and holler at you. So, all right, man, we're going to get you out here. All right.
All right. Sounds good. And thank you so much again for having me on. This is such a fun conversation, and best of luck to you and everything that you're doing too. I'd love listening to your content as well. So I'll keep continuing to plug away at that.
All right, man. I appreciate that, dude. Thanks.
For sure.
Whew, man, I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Eric, man, it's about as good as they come right there, that dude. And I bet you he would love to hear from you. Everywhere you can contact Eric is in the show notes below. All his links. He's got a lot of cool things going on. Hit him up about some movies. That's one thing that dude loves to chat about. But I'm going to get you out here because I know you got shit to do. But don't forget, liverishi.com. Use a code word table50. Going to let them know I sent you, and you're looking at 50% off your entire order. And my website, waltzkitchentable.com. Would love for you to sign up for my newsletter. Get a little sunshine in your inbox once a month. All right, man. Remember, when I say have a great day, the motherfucker is silent. Till next time.